morning. No, I did not get enough rest last night. The mosquitoes were eating me alive. The medicine did help a little bit. I was able to get back to sleep, but only got another hour or two, unfortunately. I have to wake up and start my day. Today I'm headed to the consulate to redo my passport. Now they don't allow cameras or smartphones at all inside the consulate. You have to leave this with the security. I will do my best to explain what happens during the process. I've been here once before. It's a giant complex. The first floor is all Chinese tourists getting their tourist visas to go to the States. And it's a massive crowd and it's just organized chaos. The second floor is all for American citizens and services for them. And there's like one or two windows for passports and the little legal things that you got to do. And then the rest of the second floor is just one giant nursery filled with children, Chinese children, and American families that are in the process of adopting them. So it's got toys and little play areas. It's quite a sight to see. First things first, gotta go to Starbucks. Guangzhou is a tier 1 city, which is quite nice. I wouldn't want to live here. It's just too crowded, a little too busy. It's not a bad city. I mean, it's people from all over the world doing business here. But I'm quite fond of the tranquility of my slower pace of life in Shaolan, if that makes any sense. I once worked in an office that was right next to the Azerbaijan consulate on like some random floor in an office building in LA. And it was pretty simple, it was just one little office. I have a friend of mine from Canada. He says that the Canadian consulate's on like the 8th floor of a hotel. But of course, America can't do it like that. So America fucks with the whole world, so we gotta do it a lot differently. Here, it's in the most glitzy part of town. It's an entire city block. They got concrete walls surrounding the whole thing with security. They got Chinese police and the Marine Corps. The architecture is actually quite nice. It's a new consulate. It used to be over on Xiamen Island. And it's kind of a mix of modernism and minimalism. You got concrete walls, glass walls, along with some sustainable plant life. In fact, if it weren't for all the glass walls, it would be borderline feudalism. Outside the consulate and all around it, you've got touts, trying to sell visa services to Chinese tourists. It's right outside of a metro station too, so you just get massive crowds. And then there's a separate line for American citizens that you go into, and you automatically are sent to the second floor where there's nobody. So you walk over these bridges, over these massive crowds, and you really kind of feel like a VIP, I won't lie. As you can see, this wall behind me, nothing to it, but this is the wall to the consulate, and they've got CCTV cameras every 25-30 feet. So security is everywhere, surrounding it, just watching. This is what it looks like inside the walls. And the architecture of the surrounding buildings is very impressive. Again, this is Zhejiang New Town in the Tianhe district. People often complain about government services. You go to a government office and the service is terrible. Not here. This place is wonderful. The service is wonderful. It's clean, it's modern, the technology, especially when you compare it to other countries' consulates. There's really no beating the American consulate, at least this one here in Guangzhou. As far as getting the passport, paperwork was simple. It took about 20 minutes. I was in and out, and come back in 2 weeks to pick it up. They're having a town hall tonight, so I plan on coming back for that. But first I'm going to take advantage of being in Guangzhou to do a little shopping. Because God knows it's impossible for me to find clothes in Shaolan that fit me. But here in Guangzhou, they got a lot of international brands, little international chains. So even though I really need to sleep, I think I'm gonna take advantage of me being here and go spend some time in a fitting room. the apartment that I'm in has these beautiful gardens, so it's actually quite nice. It's in the middle of the city, but I feel I'm a little separated from all of the craziness just outside. And you see that got lush greenery. They've even got little koi ponds, and yes, there are little fish running around in them. So it's an older apartment, but for 250 RMB a night, you really can't beat it. It comes with a full kitchen, TV. You know, it's not the Four Seasons, but you know, you get what you pay for. Yeah, it's much easier to shop in Guangzhou. I was only here for maybe a little less than an hour, and I scored all kinds of good stuff. Paid very little too. Everything was on sale. It's so much better than shopping in a small town. Everyone knows how much of a fan of Vietnamese food I am, and it's impossible to find in China unless you're in a tier 1 city. So whenever I come to Guangzhou, I get me a bowl of pho. Check it out. Delicious. Guangzhou, especially this part of Guangzhou, has a completely underground city. You know, it's all these walkways that go from the big financial centers to and from all the train stations. They're all connected, not just by train, but by walkways filled with shops and bakeries and McDonald's and Starbucks, all underground. So if it's hot outside, you get air conditioning. If it's raining outside, you stay dry. And of course, right above us is all the highways and traffic of rush hour. So you get away from all that too. I'm on my way to the town hall thing. I have no idea what to expect. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be good to meet a lot of Americans. It's good to see the American flag again. Check out the available Wi-Fi networks here at the Consulate. I think these are pretty dangerous. Pretty cool. It only lasts about an hour and a half. A little meet and greet, some beer and wine, some ice cream. Got to meet all the people, and then they had a Marine Corps Honor Guard came and presented the colors. Did a good job. But I was actually really impressed. They had like a internal staff do an a cappella group singing the national anthem. Pretty impressive. After giving some basic information about like security and terrorism, and you know, a lot of people back home think that China's a dangerous country. It's not. It's an extremely safe country. It's safer than America in so many ways. Now the surrounding countries like Thailand and the Philippines, they're not nearly as safe, and they went into detail about the reasons why. Kind of opens your eyes a little bit. Then they had the panel come out, and there was like 4 diplomats, including the Consulate General, and they answered all the questions very diplomatically. One of the questions that was probably the best one is, how do you get money out of China? A lot of businessmen who live and work here actually get paid in RMB, and it's very difficult to move money out of China, mainland China. Now, some people do it through Hong Kong. If you are able to do it, there's a lot of rules against that. And afterwards, we kind of huddled around, talked with some businessmen, and everyone had different ideas. I got some good contacts. But yeah, that's a big problem because the rules change all the time. So it's good to know people in the banking world here for that. Now, even though it's very late, and I have an early train to catch tomorrow to get back to Shaoland, I did meet some cool people at the consulate tonight, and we're gonna go meet for a beer. Just one beer. Hopefully just one beer. If you're ever in Guangzhou and in the Tianhe district, come to this place, Macaulay's. It's in a back alley, but it's a Irish pub that's pretty popular, especially with the expat community, and they actually have very good Mexican food. I enjoy this place. And of course, you have to support the local Marine Corps contingent. So the detachment, I bought one of their shirts. That's pretty cool. Check that out. Yeah, wasn't very expensive, but it goes. And then they've got a small detachment here, very small, but it goes towards their Marine Corps ball. So Semper Fi.